Good morning, welcome to Goodwill Commodities. In this video presentation, we are going to see how we can trade in MCX crude oil for this week. Before looking into that, let us see what happened last week and what we expected last week. As a continuous follower of our presentation and as our client, you know that every Monday we go for weekly analysis, and for that weekly analysis we use 1 hour chart. That means all the candlestick here represents 1 hour. Whenever I place the cursor on any particular candlestick, you can see the date and time below. This vertical blue color line indicates price opening for that particular week. So what happened last week? Let us see that and what we expected last week. This red color candlestick indicates last week price opening, that was on 16th of December, and you all know that initially we were in the December contract and later in the middle of week we moved to the current contract, that is January contract. Now let us see what happened and what we expected. What we expected in crude oil last week was we expected crude has got the potential to stay in uptrend. So that was our clear expectation, and the target which we were expecting was 6120, 6160 and even also 6220. These were all the expected zones if the crude continued its uptrend. Now let us see what happened after that. This is the price opening. After the price opening, the price came down and tested the support zone of 6020, and we know that the price is also trading near the moving average, which gives a lot of potential for clear trend direction. So what happened? The price went up on that particular day and closed. The next day also the price continued its uptrend by providing a new high, and then it came down and closed lower. So you can notice that on the next day the price moved up. So there was a bit of long consolidation, but we still expected the price to continue its uptrend. This type of consolidation happened in the beginning of the week last week, just because a contract for that particular week was about to expire, and we had also made that we had provided that information also clearly in our last week weekly analysis. So after that, after the contract expires, you know that on the next day, that was on 18th of December, the price opened above the key zone of 6060. We were targeting this 6060 very clearly, and the price took the support along with the average, and it gave a clear direction to move higher. The next day, that was on 19th of December, the price opened above the previous day's price closing. That provided a lot of momentum for buying, and the price shooted up as per our expectation, and it tried to reach our all the targets till 6220. After then also we expected crude to continue its uptrend, and then there was a consolidation that happened on 20th of December, where the price came down, took some support near 6160, and then gave a bounce back and then closed around 6192. This was the entire price action that happened in the last week, and everything went up to our expectation. Now let us see the open high low close analysis for that week. So when we compare the last week price opening with the previous week, this was the area where the last week price opened. When we compare that with the previous week, more or less just a bit higher, we can say that more or less equal, and it had not created a new low compared to the previous week. Previous week low was 6000, near 6000, and last week low was arrested just above 6020, and it had created a very big new high. You know that on the previous week the high was around 6160, and it had created a new high, and the price closing is also higher than the previous week price closing and also the last week price opening. So everything gave us an indication that the market went with the trend, and it was completely dominated by the buyers. Now let us go back and see what we can do for this week. Before that, let us move and see the various supports and resistance zones and the importance of all the support and resistance. As I told you earlier, whenever I place the cursor on any candlestick, you can see the date and time below. So on 11th of November, you can notice that I had marked some key areas with the blue color box. The price took some support around 6120. From that the price went up till 6220. So try to remember all the key areas. Then the price came down. Then again you can see on 13th of November the price took some resistance around 6120, and then the price fell down. So this was the area where the price came down, and again there was a bounce back after a drop. The bounce back, and you can notice that 6120 provided the resistance. So now you can notice that why this 6020 we had marked it, and you should know the importance of all the key zone, because this is a brand new fresh contract. 6120 providing a resistance. After that there was a big drop, then the price pulled back. Again you can notice that 6120 is providing a resistance. Before that you can notice that the upper resistance was 6220, where the price reached and came down. Even if you go back to the price action what happened on October, where the price looks very low in volatility, but even then we can notice that we had marked this line, which is the target zone for this week. We can notice that the price was taking a lot of resistance around 6306 zone. So that is the reason we had marked the 6306 zone, and also the next target zone of 6256. These are the two areas, and also we went and referred what are the price actions that happened in 6300 zones, and we found out that these were all the possible resistance and support. So coming to the point, here 6120 was providing a clear resistance that pushed the price. Please follow the date and time below. Then after a big drop again, you can notice the price went up, and this is the area that happened in December 4th, where the price, that is the previous week, so where the price found a resistance around 6120, and there was a drop, and you can notice that again and again the price was testing 6120. What happened was, now you know that 6120 is the clear resistance zone for the entire price action. What you saw earlier, 6120 provided a very strong resistance. Even 6160 also provided a very strong resistance. As a technician we all know that supports and resistance interchanges itself. Now you notice that the last week after breaking 6120 there was a lot of pressure. You can see straight away the price shooted up to test that, to reach the next target zone. So that is how we calculated why the price should reach 6220, and the price closed here around 6192. So what we can do today, so we know 6120 provided a strong resistance, and after breaking the 6120 the price shooted up. So this is going to be the major support for us for the coming week. So that is the reason I showed you all this thing, why we are targeting the 6120, because as a follower of our video presentation you should know all the reason why we are targeting a particular zone, and why we had marked all the support and resistance target zones. So what we can do for this week is that we are expecting crude oil to continue its buying, having 6120 as the major support zone. Till 6120 the price is expected to stay in buying. So make it very clear, and we had informed you the importance of 6120. So if there is a real buying, and if the trend is likely to continue in the buying direction, 6120 should provide a solid foundation and support for crude oil market. So if the trend continues, our expected target zones 6256, 6306, and also we had explained you why we had drawn these target zones also. So for this week we are expecting crude to continue its uptrend, having 6120, 6160 as the support zones, and the expected target 6256 and 6306. Based upon the NYMEX price direction, we could predict that the price can open near 6220. We are predicting the price opening based upon the NYMEX price direction, and we don't take into account the rupee and dollar factor, which has got an influence in the price opening, since we are posting this video presentation earlier. and we could not predict that also. So be careful, because we are in the year end, so the price volatility might be bit low because of Christmas holidays coming in between. So be very careful while you're targeting or taking any entry point. So we are expecting crude to stay in uptrend for this week. Thanks a lot for watching our videos. Happy trading. Take care. Bye.